Hello. Today we're going to be looking at the code that I used to implement my assignment for the course. In particular, what we are doing is implementing artificial intelligence in the Pong game, so that way the paddles move up and down on their own in the y-axis. So I implemented this actually in both player 1 and player 2, so both paddles will move on their own. So let's break this down. First, we do a check here. We get the direction that the ball is going by seeing if it's less than or greater than 0. If it's less than 0, the ball is moving to the left. If it's greater than 0, the ball is moving to the right. Obviously, if it's 0, the ball just isn't moving. So, in this case, if the ball is moving to the left, then the left paddle needs to defend, so that way the ball doesn't go past its side. So, first what we do is we get the y coordinate of the ball, and then we add in the height divided by the number 2 to get the middle of the ball, and then we check that comparing it with the y coordinate of the player, and we add on the height divided by 2, which gives us the middle of that paddle. This is very important to actually make the paddles behave much more efficiently, so that way they don't miss the ball. The middle of the paddle and the middle of the ball is very important. Now, what I do is I compare if the ball's y coordinate is less than the player's y coordinate. If that's so, then basically we need to start moving the paddle upward. Now, to do that, we use the negative paddle speed to move the y coordinate upwards. And then basically the same thing happens here, except for that I do a greater than in the comparison, and this will basically move the paddle downward if the ball is below the paddle. And of course, if the center of the paddle and the center of the ball are at the same position, obviously we don't need to move the paddle. Alright, and basically the code is the same here for player 2. The only real difference is the first line. Basically, we need to check whether or not the ball is moving to the right instead of to the left, and that makes the paddle defend. Alright, so let's give this a try in our code and we'll see how that looks. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin this. The paddles will start moving on their own. In this case, the right paddle should start moving first because of the fact that it will be defending from the first serve. Alright. As we can see, they chase the ball, and in general they're very good. Against a human opponent, they are excellent. However, eventually they will lose, and the reason for that is because each time there's a collision detected, the speed of the ball is increased by 3%, if I remember correctly. So that means that eventually the speed is going to become so great that it's not going to be able to, or the paddles won't be able to keep up with the movement. So which paddle will win? Not entirely sure, but we'll see very soon. Now it's getting really, really fast. And there we go. In this case, it was actually player 1 that won that round. All right, that was very quick. So everything works perfectly. All's good to go.